Hello guys, welcome back to TechDose, and in this video we will see the valid perfect square problem which is from LeetCode day 9 of the May challenge. So let us now look at the problem statement. The problem is very simple. Given a number n, you need to find whether this number is a perfect square or not. If it is a perfect square, then you need to return true, otherwise you need to return false. So you can see that 16 is a perfect square and 14 is not a perfect square. This problem is very simple and it can be solved in just a single line if you are allowed to use library functions. Otherwise, if you are not allowed, then this problem may become tricky. So in this question, you are not allowed to use any of the library functions. So let us now see how can we solve it without using library function. So let us take n equals to 25. So how do you determine whether this 25 is a perfect square or not? Since you cannot find the square root functions, so what other methods you have? Actually, you can take prime factorization of this 25 and you will find that the factors are 5 into 5. So you can find all the prime factors and you can see by pairing them whether they are occurring in even number pairs. Okay, so if you find that your prime factors are occurring in even number pairs, then this number will exactly be a perfect square. Let us take this number 100. So how can you write this 100? Actually 100 is basically 10 into 10. So this 10 can be further divided into 2 into 5. And this 10 will again be 2 into 5. So you can see that there are two number of 2's and two number of 5's. So this 2 is occurring even number of times and this 5 is occurring even number of times. So this number has to be a perfect square. Okay. So if you multiply it by 2 again, then this entire number becomes 200. And you can see that this is not a perfect square since this 2 is occurring 3 number of times and this 5 is occurring 2 number of times. So if a number is a perfect square, then its prime factors should all be occurring even number of times. So this is one trick, but this will consume a lot of time. Now a much simpler approach is just start iterating with I equals to 1 to I into I is less than n and I plus plus. So how will you iterate using this loop? Actually the idea is when I is equals to 1, then you will check whether 1 into 1 is less than n. So you can see that 1 into 1 is 1, less than 25 is true. So you will increment the value of I and you will check for 2. Whether 2 into 2 is less than 25? Yes, it is less than 25. So you will just again increment the value of I, it will now become 3. Whether 3 into 3 is less than 25? Yes. So you will again move to I equals to 4. Whether 4 into 4 is less than 25? Yes, this is also true. So you will again move to I equals to 5. Whether 5 into 5 is less than 25, so this is false. So at this position your loop will break. So when you break out of the loop, whatever the value of your I is, in this case your value is 5, so you will just see whether I into I is equals to your n value or not. If it is not equal, then you will return false, saying that the number n is not a perfect square. Otherwise if it is equal, then you will return true, saying that the number n is a perfect square. So what is the time complexity for this approach? Actually the time complexity will be order of square root of n. Okay, and n is the given value for which you need to determine whether it is a perfect square or not. Since in this case you can see that n value is 25 and for this value you are actually running the loop for root under 25 number of times, that is 5 times. So in this case you can see that I started with 1 and ended at 5. So this time complexity is order of root n. Okay, so you might find that this solution is optimized solution, but then this is kind of a brute force solution only, because let's say your n value is in the order of 10 to the power 10. Then you will have to do square root of 10 to the power 10 number of operations. So this will be around 10 to the power 5 operations. Okay, so this solution is not actually the brute force one, but it is not efficient one as well. So let us now look at an efficient approach to solve this problem. Let us assume that our n value is in the range of 1 to 100 and let us say we are given n equals to 16 and we want to find whether this is a perfect square or not. So since this n is basically assumed to be a perfect square, so our actual range of number will be from 1 to 10 only. Okay, and 10 is basically the square root of 100. So in this case, in order to find whether 16 is a perfect square or not, we can apply binary search to find this. So our low value will be 1, high value will be 10 and mid value will be low plus high by 2, which will be 5. So this is our low value, this is our high value, and this is our mid value. Now what we can do is we can just compare whether mid into mid is equals to your value n or not. If it is equals to your value n, then it is sure that n is a perfect square. Okay, and we will return true. Otherwise, if this is less than n, then you need to actually increase the value of mid in order to increase the value of this square. So in this case, you will have to move to the right hand side. And if this mid into mid is greater than n, then your value is already higher than n. So you need to decrement the value of mid, and so you will move to the left hand side. So in this case, you can see that mid into mid is equals to 25. 25 is actually greater than n. Therefore, you will have to decrement this value of mid. So what will we do is we will just update the value of high to mid minus 1. So this will be high now and low will remain at this position. So what will be the value of mid now? It will be high plus low by 2, 4 plus 1 by 2, which will come out to be 2. So this will be our new mid value. Now we will compare if 2 into 2 is less than equals to or equals to this n. So they are not equal, and actually mid into mid is less than n. So we will have to increase the value of mid. So we will have to update the low value to mid plus 1. So this is our low now. So what will be the mid value? The new mid value will be low plus high by 2. That is 4 plus 3 by 2, which will be equals to 3. So this will be our mid value. So now we will again compare whether this 3 into 3 is equals to n. So no, actually 3 into 3 is less than n. So again we will update the low value to mid plus 1. Low and high are pointing to the same value. Mid will also be pointing to this value. And so now you can see that mid into mid is actually equals to n. Therefore we will return true. So this binary search method is one of the most efficient method. So let us say your n value is 10 to the power 10. Then what is the actual time complexity here? Actually we are searching in the range of 1 to root under n. Okay, and we are applying binary search on it. So binary search is already log n. So the range value is actually root n. So it will be log of root n. So if your n value is, let's say, 10 to the power 10, then what will be root n? Root n will be equals to 10 to the power 5. Now our previous method was actually running in root n, that is 10 to the power 5. Now if you take log of root n, then it will only be equals to 5, since we are dealing in base 10 numbers. So you can see how optimized this approach is. The previous approach might have seemed to be optimized, but in order to find a number around int max, it will take 10 to the power 5 computations. But by using this method, it will take only 5 number of computations. So there is a huge difference between these two methods. So this is one of the most optimal approach. So let us now look at the code in order to get a better understanding. Okay, so this is the code where we are given the num, which we need to verify whether this is a perfect square or not. So simply I have taken high, low, mid and square, and simply I have applied the binary search method as I already explained you. And if at any point you find that square is equals to num, then you have found that your number is actually a perfect square. Otherwise, if by applying binary search on the entire range, if you did not find any number which is a square root of num, then after coming out you will simply return false, saying that this number num is not a perfect square. So this is a very simple approach. I hope you understood and enjoyed the explanation. If you have any other approach or solution in different languages, then please post in the comment section so that everyone can take benefit from it. Like and share our video and subscribe to our channel in order to watch more of this programming videos. See you in our next video. Thank you.